She laughed at the human warrior until her mother commanded, "Kneel before him, HFY." It was a world of beauty and power, one that celebrated intelligence, skill, and honor above all else. And on this world, humans were rare. Some said they were weak. Some said they were too small, too untrained, too unpredictable. That was why the arrival of one human warrior drew so much attention. Princess Lyra, the heir to the throne of Zyphura, sat on a floating platform at the royal court, her long violet hair flowing like a river of light in the gentle breeze. She was young, sharp, and fearless. Her bright eyes scanned the crowd as her lips curled into a playful, mocking smile. Humans, she thought, were nothing but myths. She had heard stories of their strength and cunning, but she had also seen reports of their failures. Today, she decided, she would test this so-called human warrior. She wanted to see if he was worthy of even her attention, or if he was as laughable as the stories suggested. The doors to the grand hall opened with a deep hum. A figure stepped through, his frame smaller than most of the alien warriors present, yet his posture radiated confidence. Captain Jason Cole, the human warrior, walked with steady steps, his dark eyes taking in everything. He was calm, composed, and utterly aware of the many eyes on him. Around him, the crowd whispered. His uniform, simple by Zyphoran standards, marked him as an envoy of Earth, a representative of a species considered primitive in many ways. Lyra's laughter escaped before she could stop it. "Is that the human?" she asked aloud, her tone dripping with amusement. "He looks so small. How could he ever hope to match us?" He only gave a polite nod to the court and then to the princess herself. His eyes were calm, steady, as if measuring everything yet hiding nothing. His silence was louder than her words, and for a moment Lyra felt a flicker of irritation. Who was this human who did not react to her mockery? Queen Seraphine, Lyra's mother, observed everything silently. Her eyes, sharp and calculating, followed the human warrior. She could see something others might miss, a strength beneath the surface, a quiet confidence that was not arrogance. Humans were rare, yes, but she had heard whispers of their abilities. Some of the older records spoke of humans who could face impossible odds and survive. Could this one be like them? She decided it would be wise to observe him more closely. "Bring him forward," the queen commanded, her voice smooth and firm. Her words carried weight. The attendants bowed and gestured for Jason to come closer. The hall quieted, anticipation hanging in the air like a tangible energy. Jason stepped forward, his gaze calm, respectful, yet unwavering. Lyra leaned back in her seat, folding her arms with a smirk. "So this is the great human warrior," she murmured, almost to herself. "I've read the reports, I've seen the files, but I have seen nothing impressive yet." The queen raised her hand. "Today you will demonstrate your skill, not to mock, not to entertain, but to show the court that you are worthy of our attention. Fail, and you will still leave with honor, for trying is brave. Succeed, and you may earn our respect." His voice was calm when he spoke. "I am here to represent humanity and to honor your court. I will do my best." The first trial began. It was a test of agility. Platforms floated above a glowing energy pit, moving in unpredictable patterns. Warriors were expected to jump, run, and balance with precision, timing every step carefully. Lyra had watched hundreds of warriors fail at this challenge, some falling and barely escaping serious injury. She expected Jason to stumble immediately, to flail and panic, to confirm the stories of human weakness. But Jason moved with steady focus. He watched the floating platforms carefully, calculated each jump, and moved with precise timing. He was not as fast as the Zyphorans, but his technique was flawless. Every step was deliberate. Every leap was controlled. By the end of the trial, he had crossed the platforms without a single misstep. The court murmured in surprise. Some looked at each other, eyes wide. Lyra blinked. She felt a strange sensation in her chest, a mix of disbelief and irritation. How could this human, so small and seemingly ordinary, succeed where many trained warriors had failed? She could not hide her frustration. Beginner's luck, she muttered under her breath. The second trial tested strength. Heavy energy spheres floated in the air, moving with random patterns. Warriors had to lift, throw, and redirect them without touching the ground. Many of the alien warriors excelled here, their arms and bodies adapted for strength beyond normal human capacity. Jason approached the trial calmly. He lifted the first sphere carefully, analyzing its weight and balance. He used his body cleverly, not relying solely on brute strength, but on leverage, timing, and precision. Each sphere moved exactly as he intended. By the end, every sphere had been redirected perfectly. Again, whispers ran through the crowd. Jason was not the strongest, yet he performed as if he had trained for this his entire life. Lyra's mockery faltered. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Words failed her for the first time. Her mind raced. He was good, better than she expected. The human was clever, precise, and controlled. This was not luck. This was skill. Queen Seraphine's eyes sparkled with approval. She had seen many warriors, but humans often surprised her. Jason's combination of calm, calculation, and courage reminded her of the ancient records she had read. Perhaps humans were underestimated not because they were weak, but because others failed to recognize their unique strengths. The final part of the day's demonstration was a test of wit and strategy. The warriors faced a complex holographic battlefield, filled with traps, shifting terrains, and moving targets. Most relied on their instincts and brute reflexes. Jason, however, studied the field, noting patterns, anticipating movements, and making decisions that combined logic with instinct. Every move he made minimized risk while maximizing effectiveness. By the time the trial ended, it was clear he had outperformed many native warriors in cleverness, even if he lacked their raw speed or strength. Lyra's expression had changed. The mocking smile was gone, replaced by something more complicated: confusion, irritation, and a spark of respect. She had not expected to see a human move, think, and act with such skill. And yet here he was, calm, composed, and unshaken. The queen stood, her voice commanding attention. "Today, you have shown skill, intelligence, and courage. You have not only represented humanity, but you have also demonstrated qualities that even the finest of our warriors admire. I only did what I could to respect your court and your people." He was calm where others panicked, clever where others relied on brute force, and courageous where others hesitated. The court buzzed with quiet excitement. Aliens whispered to each other, discussing the humans' abilities. The queen's eyes met Lyra's, sharp and knowing. "Observe well, Lyra," she said quietly, just for her daughter. "Strength is not always measured in size or speed. Some strengths are hidden, and only patience and observation reveal them." Lyra had learned, whether she liked it or not, that the human warrior was a force to be reckoned with. And Queen Seraphine, she had seen a glimpse of potential that could change the way Sci-Fi viewed humanity forever. As the court dispersed and the glowing city lights reflected on the water below, Lyra remained seated, her mind a whirlwind of thoughts. She could not stop thinking about the human before her, the calm, clever, and courageous figure who had faced every challenge with quiet confidence. A laugh once so easy for her now seemed impossible, and deep down, she wondered what tomorrow would bring when she saw him again. The human warrior had arrived, and he had already begun to change everything. The next day, the sky above Sci-Fi was painted in shades of amber and violet, the floating city alive with movement and energy. The court gathered once more, and this time the excitement in the air was palpable. Word of the human warrior's performance had spread through the palace halls and courtyards. Aliens whispered to each other as they watched the princess, whose expression now carried a faint trace of unease. Even she could not deny that Jason Cole had exceeded expectations. Lyra, seated on her usual platform, adjusted her posture, her violet hair cascading over her shoulders. She tried to hide the tension in her eyes, but her mind raced with thoughts she did not fully understand. She had expected to dominate the human, to see him falter and stumble, to laugh at his weakness. Yet Yesterday had proven otherwise. The calm confidence, intelligence, and courage he had displayed now haunted her thoughts. The queen's voice broke the murmurs. Today, the trials will continue. These will test not only strength and skill, but ingenuity and adaptability. Captain Cole, you will participate alongside the warriors of Zyphora in challenges designed to push every limit. The first challenge of the day was a battle simulation designed to test strategy under pressure. Holographic enemies appeared, unpredictable in movement and numbers. Most Zyphoran warriors relied on instinct, attacking with precision honed over years of training. Jason observed the battlefield carefully, analyzing patterns and anticipating movements. He did not rush forward blindly. Instead, he made calculated decisions, exploiting weaknesses in the simulation, redirecting virtual enemies into traps and adapting as new threats appeared. Lyra watched, her eyes narrowing. She wanted to mock him, to see some sign of human panic or confusion, but Jason remained calm. Every movement, every choice was deliberate and effective. He was fast, yes, but his strength lay not in speed alone. It was his mind, his ability to think and adapt that made him formidable. When the simulation ended, the result was clear. Jason had outperformed many native warriors, some of whom had been considered prodigies. Murmurs of astonishment filled the court. Some aliens exchanged glances, disbelief and admiration mingling in their expressions. Even Lyra could not hide her surprise. The next trial tested endurance and precision. A series of floating platforms rotated and shifted above a deep chasm of glowing energy. Warriors were required to navigate the platforms, retrieving energy cores without falling or disturbing the delicate balance of the field. Many warriors failed within moments, their confidence turning into frustration as the platforms moved unpredictably. Jason stepped onto the first platform, his focus unwavering. He observed each movement, timing his steps with care. He adjusted his weight, using leverage and balance, moving not with raw force but with calculated precision. One by one, he collected the energy cores, never faltering, never panicking. When he reached the final platform, the court erupted in quiet applause. Even the queen allowed a small smile to grace her lips. Lyra's laughter, so natural before, was gone. Instead, she felt a complex mix of irritation and fascination. How could this human, so small and seemingly ordinary, move with such skill and grace? How could he endure challenges that had defeated so many of her best warriors? The third challenge was the most difficult yet: teamwork and leadership. Warriors were paired with unfamiliar partners to complete complex objectives that required communication, strategy, and trust. Jason was paired with a Zyphoran warrior named Corin, known for his pride and independent nature. Many assumed the human would struggle, unable to command or adapt to an alien partner. Jason did not hesitate. He communicated clearly, patiently explaining his strategies while listening carefully to Corin's insights. He did not dominate or belittle. He worked alongside his partner, earning respect not through authority but through competence and humility. Corin, initially skeptical, began to follow Jason's lead, impressed by his calm judgment and quick thinking. Together, they completed the objectives with efficiency and precision, achieving results unmatched by most pairs in the past. Lyra observed in silence. She felt a strange pang of envy. The human had qualities she could not ignore: calmness under pressure, the ability to think beyond instinct, and the rare skill of earning loyalty without force or fear. She had never seen anything like it in Zyphora. Queen Seraphine's voice echoed across the hall. Captain Cole has proven that humans are capable of strength, intelligence, and courage beyond what many believe. His ability to adapt, lead, and honor his principles is remarkable. Let this be a lesson to all of us. Greatness can come from unexpected places. Some felt threatened by the realization that an outsider could match, or even surpass, the finest warriors of Zyphora. Others were inspired, seeing in Jason a model of courage and intelligence that transcended species. Lyra's eyes followed Jason as he stepped back, humble and composed. She wanted to speak, to challenge him with words, but she found herself unable. Her mind raced with conflicting thoughts: pride, curiosity, irritation, and an unfamiliar admiration. How could a human, a stranger from a distant planet, display such skill, wisdom, and honor? During the break, Lyra wandered to a balcony overlooking the city. Jason remained in the main hall, speaking politely with attendants and observing the ongoing activities with quiet attention. Lyra's mind would not rest. She replayed every movement, every decision, every moment of composure. He had faced every challenge, not with arrogance, but with intelligence and humility. And yet, he had won. Her mother's words from the previous day echoed in her mind. Strength is not always measured in size or speed. Some strengths are hidden, and only patience and observation reveal them. Lyra frowned. She had mocked him, laughed at him, and assumed she would dominate. Yet here she was, questioning everything she had believed about humans. The final trial of the day was an individual test of courage. Warriors were placed in a chamber filled with shifting energy fields and illusions designed to provoke fear. Many faltered, their confidence collapsing under the pressure of the unknown. Jason entered the chamber calmly. He moved steadily, acknowledging the illusions without panic. When confronted with unexpected obstacles, he adapted, using logic and instinct together to navigate the challenges. At the heart of the chamber, a simulated danger threatened to overwhelm him. A holographic creature, massive and imposing, lunged forward. Jason did not hesitate. He analyzed the situation, found its weakness, and used his skills to neutralize the threat. The chamber's energy dimmed, signaling completion. Jason had succeeded where many warriors had failed, demonstrating courage, adaptability, and intelligence. The court erupted in quiet applause, admiration, and amazement. Jason had done more than perform, he had inspired. He had shown that true strength was not measured solely by size, speed, or alien training, but by courage, intelligence, adaptability, and honor. Lyra sat frozen, her violet eyes wide. The human she had mocked, the one she had assumed was weak and unworthy, had outshined her expectations in every way. She felt a strange mixture of disbelief and grudging respect. He had not only survived, but he had excelled. He had earned the admiration of the court, the attention of the queen, and even her own reluctant acknowledgement. Queen Seraphine stood, her voice carrying through the hall. Captain Cole has demonstrated qualities that all warriors, regardless of species, should admire. Let this day be remembered as a testament to courage, intelligence, and honor. Let it remind us that true strength often comes from unexpected places. His demeanor remained composed, respectful, and dignified. He had not sought recognition, yet he had earned it fully. Lyra's thoughts swirled. She had underestimated him, judged him too quickly, and now she faced the uncomfortable truth. Humans, or at least this one human, were remarkable. For the first time, she wondered what it truly meant to be strong, and how much she had yet to understand about the world beyond her assumptions. The day ended with the court in awe and whispers of the human warrior's abilities spreading like wildfire. Aliens spoke in hushed tones, debating what they had witnessed. Some questioned the validity of their old prejudices. Others marveled at the courage, intelligence, and honor displayed by a species so often dismissed. Lyra remained in her chamber, her mind restless. She had expected to dominate, to laugh, to assert superiority. Instead, she found herself thinking about the human warrior, about his calm eyes, his steady movements, his clever mind. She could not shake the feeling that she had underestimated him in a way that might change everything she thought she knew. As night fell over Sci-Fi, the city glowing under twin moons, Lyra looked out over the floating towers. She realized that the human warrior had not just survived the trials, he had changed the way she saw the world. She could not yet admit it, not even to herself, but a seed of respect had been planted. And in the court below, Captain Jason Cole remained humble, unaware of the stir he had caused, yet quietly proving that humans could rise to greatness in ways that even the mightiest of aliens had never imagined. The trials were far from over. And for Lyra, for Jason, and for the entire court of Zyphora, tomorrow promised even greater challenges, deeper lessons, and the possibility that humanity's true strength was only beginning to reveal itself. The following morning, Zyphora's skies shimmered with a soft golden light. Floating towers reflected the twin suns, and airships moved in orderly patterns above the glowing oceans. Inside the royal palace, the court buzzed with anticipation. Word of the human warrior, Captain Jason Cole, had spread through the halls like wildfire. Everyone spoke quietly, exchanging astonished whispers about the events of the previous day. Princess Lyra walked along the balcony that overlooked the city. She had spent the night thinking, replaying every moment of the trials in her mind. The more she considered it, the more she realized she had been wrong. Jason was unlike any warrior she had ever encountered. Calm, clever, adaptable, and honorable, he possessed qualities that even the best Zyphorans struggled to master. She hated to admit it, but she could not deny her growing fascination with him. Her thoughts were interrupted by the soft chime of the Queen's voice. "Lyra, come with me," Queen Seraphine commanded. Her tone was gentle yet firm, carrying the weight of authority that allowed no refusal. Lyra followed, curiosity mixed with a touch of apprehension. The Queen led her to a private chamber far from the gaze of the court. Within, a small arena had been set up. Holographic targets floated around, and energy fields pulsed gently. "Today," the Queen began, "Captain Cole will face a private challenge. This is not for the court's amusement, but a test of skill, intelligence, and character. I want you to watch closely, Lyra. Learn from it. Humans are underestimated often because others fail to see their strengths. Observe carefully." The holographic field shifted unpredictably, creating obstacles, traps, and illusions designed to test more than just physical ability. Many Zyphoran warriors had failed in similar tests, overwhelmed by the combination of danger and complexity. Jason, however, moved with deliberate precision. He analyzed the obstacles carefully, predicting shifts in the energy fields and reacting quickly to changes. Lyra watched, unable to look away. Every decision Jason made was calculated, efficient, and effective. He moved not with raw power alone, but with intelligence and adaptability that surpassed the expectations of the Queen herself. When he reached a particularly dangerous section, a trap designed to mislead even the most skilled warriors, he paused, evaluated, and then acted with perfect timing. The trap triggered, but Jason used it to his advantage, redirecting energy in a way that neutralized the danger. The Queen's eyes gleamed with approval. Jason was proving what she had suspected. Humans possessed a unique combination of courage, intelligence, and resourcefulness. Even Lyra could not ignore it. She felt a strange mixture of irritation and admiration. How could a human, so small and supposedly ordinary, navigate challenges that had defeated her finest warriors? As Jason progressed, he encountered a simulated adversary, a massive holographic creature with energy claws and flashing eyes. Most warriors would have panicked or relied on brute strength, but Jason assessed the situation carefully. He noticed patterns in its movements and identified weaknesses. With calm determination, he executed a sequence of precise strikes, redirecting its energy and neutralizing the threat. The chamber's holograms dimmed, signaling the completion of the trial. Lyra remained silent, her mouth slightly open in disbelief. The human warrior had not only succeeded, he had done so with a combination of skill, intelligence, and honor that no one could have predicted. Even she could not find words to mock him. The Queen stepped forward, her voice commanding yet gentle. "Captain Cole, you have shown remarkable ability. Your courage, intelligence, and composure are worthy of admiration. You have earned the respect of this court and demonstrated that humans are capable of greatness beyond what many believe. I only acted as I believed was right to show respect for your court and your people." His humility, combined with his skill, only heightened the admiration of the queen and the silent observers. Lyra's mind raced. She had expected arrogance, clumsiness, perhaps even fear. Instead, she saw courage, intelligence, and honor. The human warrior had quietly proven himself in ways that words alone could not convey. She felt her pride and preconceptions crumble, replaced by curiosity, respect, and a growing fascination she could not yet name. The court reconvened after the private trial, but the atmosphere had shifted. Whispers spread quickly. Jason Cole had faced a challenge designed to test the very best and had excelled. Some council members were impressed, some skeptical, but all were forced to reconsider their assumptions about humanity. Lyra remained near the balcony, observing Jason as he interacted politely with attendants and warriors alike. He was humble in victory, calm in conversation, and composed in demeanor. There was no boastfulness, no need for recognition beyond the simple respect he had earned. It was a form of strength that Lyra had rarely seen among her people. As the day progressed, political tensions subtly shifted. Some members of the court whispered doubts about relying on outsiders, worried about the humans' growing reputation. Others saw opportunity, realizing that alliances with humans might bring unexpected advantages. Through it all, Jason remained focused on his duties, never seeking power, never seeking attention. Lyra's thoughts were consumed by him. She replayed every movement, every calculated decision, every moment of composure. He had faced impossible odds and succeeded not through brute strength, but through intelligence, courage, and honor. She could not deny the respect she now felt, though pride made it hard to admit. The queen observed her daughter carefully. "Lyra," she said quietly, "there is much to learn from those who are different from us. Strength takes many forms. Sometimes the most unexpected beings reveal the greatest courage and wisdom." She did not yet know how to express it, even to herself. The evening brought another challenge, this one designed to test diplomacy and negotiation. Jason was asked to mediate a disagreement between two Xiforan factions during a simulated conflict scenario. Many warriors relied on intimidation or threats, but Jason approached the situation with calm reasoning. He listened carefully, considered all perspectives, and suggested solutions that satisfied both sides without creating further conflict. The court watched in astonishment. Diplomacy was a skill highly valued on Xiphora, yet Jason's approach combined fairness, clarity, and respect in a way that few had seen before. Even Lyra found herself impressed, noting how his human perspective allowed him to see possibilities others overlooked. By the end of the day, Jason had demonstrated skill, intelligence, adaptability, courage, and diplomacy. He had faced challenges designed to test every aspect of a warrior and emerged successful in ways that transcended simple strength. The queen's judgment was clear. Humans, or at least this human, possessed qualities worthy of respect and admiration. Lyra sat quietly in her chambers that night, her mind restless. She had expected to mock, to dominate, and to dismiss. Instead, she had watched a human warrior navigate trials with precision, humility, and courage. He had earned respect without demanding it, inspired admiration without arrogance, and challenged assumptions she had never questioned before. For the first time, Lyra wondered what it truly meant to be strong. It was not size, nor speed, nor even raw power. It was courage, intelligence, adaptability, and honor, the qualities Jason had displayed so effortlessly. And in that realization, she felt a mixture of frustration and fascination, a tug of emotions she could neither control nor ignore. Meanwhile, Jason returned to his quarters, unaware of the stir he had caused within the princess. He reflected quietly on the day's challenges, grateful for the opportunity to demonstrate human skill and honor. He had faced every trial with focus and humility, showing that even an outsider could earn respect through courage, intelligence, and integrity. The palace lights dimmed as night fell, the floating towers glowing softly under the twin moons. Lyra stood at her balcony, gazing down at the city below. She could not forget the human warrior, could not ignore the impact he had on her thoughts and the court. Pride battled with curiosity, skepticism wrestled with admiration. She had underestimated him, and that realization weighed heavily on her. Tomorrow, she knew, would bring new challenges. She did not yet understand what those challenges might reveal, about Jason, about humans, or about herself. But one thing was certain: the human warrior had changed the way she saw the world, and that change would not be easily reversed. For Jason Cole, the journey was only beginning. For Princess Lyra, the lessons of humility, respect, and admiration had begun to take root. And for the court of Zyphora, the arrival of the human warrior marked the start of a new chapter, one that would challenge assumptions, inspire courage, and reveal the unexpected strength of humanity. The morning sun rose over Zyphora, casting golden light across the floating towers and glowing oceans. The city shimmered with life as airships carried workers, diplomats, and warriors across the vast expanse. Within the royal palace, tension and excitement coexisted, each glance and whisper carrying the weight of anticipation. Today was different. Today would reveal not just skill, but character, humility, and respect. Princess Lyra walked through the grand hall, her violet hair flowing behind her. She could feel the gaze of the court upon her, the quiet anticipation buzzing in the air. Jason Cole, the human warrior, had already begun to earn a reputation that no one could ignore. He had surpassed expectations in every trial, demonstrating courage, intelligence, adaptability, and honor. Even Lyra, who had once mocked him, could not deny the stir of admiration she felt. The queen, Seraphine, stood at the head of the hall, her posture regal and commanding. Her eyes, sharp and discerning, swept over the assembly before settling on Jason. "Captain Cole," she said, her voice echoing clearly, "you have proven yourself worthy of the respect of this court. Your courage, intelligence, and humility are qualities that all warriors, regardless of species, should admire. Today, I wish to honor you in a way that will be remembered. I have only sought to show respect for your people and your court." His calm demeanor radiated humility, and even the skeptics among the council were quiet, waiting to see what would unfold. Lyra remained seated, her mind racing. Pride and curiosity battled within her. She had come to the trials ready to mock, ready to assert her superiority, and yet she had been forced to witness something extraordinary. The human warrior had not sought glory, yet he had earned it fully. How could someone so small, so far from home, command such respect? She could not yet understand it, but she felt the weight of it pressing against her pride. The queen gestured, and the attendants moved to clear a space in the center of the hall. Holographic lights shimmered briefly as a ceremonial platform was prepared. "Princess Lyra," the queen said, turning to her daughter, "you have observed Captain Cole through trials that tested not only strength and skill, but courage, intelligence, and honor. It is time to recognize greatness when it stands before us. You will kneel before him, as a sign of respect and acknowledgement of true strength." This was not punishment. This was a lesson, a recognition of truth, and a challenge to her pride. Her mind raced. Could she do it? Could she put aside mockery, arrogance, and preconceptions to honor someone who had truly earned it? Slowly, almost reluctantly, she lowered herself onto one knee, her gaze locked on Jason. The hall fell silent, every whisper fading as the Princess of Zyphora acknowledged the human warrior before her. Jason looked at her, calm and composed. His expression held no arrogance, no prideful glee. Instead, there was a quiet respect, an understanding of the courage it had taken for her to kneel. He stepped forward slightly and bowed his head in acknowledgement, honoring not only the command of the queen but the humility of the princess. The queen's eyes softened, a faint smile touching her lips. Let this moment remind all of us that greatness is not bound by species, size, or appearance. True strength is measured by courage, intelligence, honor, and humility. "Captain Cole, You have demonstrated these qualities, and they shall be remembered in the records of Sci-Fi. Some felt inspired, others cautious, but all were forced to recognize the truth. The human warrior had earned his place among the greatest of Sci-Fi. Lyra remained kneeling for a moment longer, feeling the weight of the lesson settle in her mind. She had expected arrogance, weakness, perhaps fear. Instead, she had seen courage, intelligence, adaptability, and honor. Jason had proven himself in ways that surpassed her expectations, and she could not deny the admiration she felt. She rose slowly, meeting his gaze. I see now," she said quietly, her voice steady despite the tremor of surprise and awe. "You are more than I imagined. Your acknowledgement means a great deal." His voice was calm, and the humility in it only reinforced the respect he had earned. The queen stepped forward, addressing the court once more. "Let this day serve as a reminder to all of us. Do not judge by appearance, species, or past stories. Greatness often comes in unexpected forms. Humans, like Captain Cole, have shown that courage, intelligence, honor, and humility are qualities that can inspire even the mightiest of us." Courage, intelligence, and honor were what truly mattered. Jason's presence in the court had not only challenged the perceptions of the aliens, but had also sparked a change within Lyra. She realized that leadership was not just about strength or authority. It was about recognizing true ability, respecting it, and learning from it. The human warrior had done more than succeed in trials. He had inspired growth and reflection among those who had once dismissed him. As the day progressed, the atmosphere in the court shifted. Aliens who had doubted humans now spoke with curiosity and admiration. Some council members began discussing potential alliances and cooperation, recognizing the value of a species capable of such extraordinary skill and character. Others were cautious, but could not ignore the undeniable truth. Humans had earned respect, and Captain Cole had shown that they could stand shoulder to shoulder with the greatest warriors of Sci-Fi. Lyra spent time observing him quietly, noting his humility, calm demeanor, and unwavering focus. She had expected arrogance or boastfulness, yet found only respect, patience, and courage. She felt a strange mixture of emotions: admiration, curiosity, and an unfamiliar sense of humility. She understood now that true strength was more than physical power or skill. It was the combination of courage, intelligence, honor, and the ability to inspire respect in others. The day ended with a ceremonial acknowledgement. Jason was formally recognized by the Queen and the court for his achievements. He had faced trials designed to test every aspect of a warrior: strength, skill, intelligence, courage, and diplomacy, and had excelled in all. The recognition was not just for his success in the challenges, but for the values he had demonstrated throughout: humility, respect, and honor. Lyra approached him once more. "Captain Cole," she said, her voice steady, "I have learned much from you. Your courage, intelligence, and honor have changed the way I see the world. I respect you." Her daughter had learned a lesson in humility and recognition, and the court had witnessed the extraordinary abilities of a human warrior. The events of the past days would be remembered in the history of Sci-Fi as the moment when assumptions were challenged, and true greatness revealed itself in unexpected form. As night fell over the glowing city, Lyra stood at her balcony once more. She looked out over the floating towers, the sparkling oceans, and the busy streets below. Her mind reflected on the lessons learned: the importance of courage, intelligence, honor, and humility. She had been challenged, humbled, and inspired. She had seen a human warrior stand among her people and excel, and she knew that the world was larger, more complex, and more wondrous than she had ever imagined. Jason, back in his quarters, reflected quietly as well. He had faced every trial with focus, humility, and determination. He had shown that humans, though few in number on Sci-Fi, could achieve greatness through courage, intelligence, adaptability, and honor. His journey was far from over, but he had already made a mark on this world, a mark of respect, admiration, and inspiration. Lyra, too, knew that the trials had only just begun. Her respect for Jason had grown, but more importantly, she had learned the value of observing, listening, and acknowledging strength where it existed, regardless of preconceived notions. The human warrior had changed not only the court's perception of humanity, but also her own understanding of what it meant to be strong. And in the grand hall of the palace, under the watchful eyes of Queen Seraphine, the human warrior and the Princess of Zyphora stood as symbols of a new understanding, that true strength and greatness transcended species, appearances, and assumptions. Courage, intelligence, honor, and humility were universal values, capable of inspiring respect and admiration across worlds. The day ended, but the impact remained. For the court of Zyphora, for Princess Lyra, and for Captain Jason Cole, this was a beginning, a new chapter in the history of two worlds, united not by force, but by respect, understanding, and the recognition of true greatness.